now. This is Rondell Mitchell, aka the How To King. On this video, everybody, I want to talk to you about something that you need to avoid if you want to make money on your computer online. If you have your own home based business, whatever the case. All right. Now, this is something that I've found that a lot of people tend to do as marketers, and they wonder why they struggle to get results in their business. Okay, now this is the big thing that I've noticed. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want to use social media to promote your business. Okay, now obviously, you're going to have a learning curve. Okay, so let's start off here on Facebook. This is what most people do who are trying to learn how to market. Okay, so the new person, let's call the new person Joe Blow. Joe Blow gets started in his own home based business or whatever the case. Joe does not necessarily want to deal with his Joe does not necessarily want to deal with his family and friends, so he turns to social media. So Joe Blow is planning on using social media to build his business, but Joe can never get any clarity in terms of what particular platform he wants to use. Okay, so Joe spends 2 or 3 days on Facebook, and Joe does not get the type of result that Joe was after on Facebook. So on day 3, Joe is already off to Twitter. Okay, so now Joe is on Twitter for a couple days, gets a lead or two. Those people opt into his capture page, but then they come back and they email him and say his business is a scam. So now Joe gets frustrated with Twitter. He says Twitter doesn't work, and now Joe's off to LinkedIn. Okay, now everybody says the professionals are on LinkedIn and so forth. So Joe creates an account on LinkedIn and begins spamming different people's profiles with his links. Joe joins a bunch of LinkedIn groups and spams his link inside of LinkedIn groups. And, eventually he realizes that his strategy is not working. So, what does Joe do? Yes, Joe goes on to the next platform. Now Joe's on Google Plus, and Joe's on Google Plus. Joe's not really liking the layout of Google Plus. He doesn't like the way it looks, things like that. So Joe is off to the next one. He heard from a friend. No, this is exactly what happens. Now, Joe receives an email from another marketer who's telling Joe that Instagram is the place to be. This particular marketer is proclaiming that they've earned $20,000 in the last 30 days on Instagram. So now Joe believes that Instagram is the way to go for him. He creates an account on Instagram, and of course, he doesn't get the results that he wants in a short enough period of time. And he moves on to Pinterest. And this goes on and on and on and on. And people will continually do this until they burn themselves out to the point where they start to believe that home based business is not real. They start to call their program a scam and so on and so forth, when in essence it was actually them who was creating the problems in their business. Okay, and then after Pinterest, you might go to Snapchat or whatever the case. And here's the problem with all this, folks. The problem is that you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Okay, so if you want to learn all of these different platforms, the first thing that you need to do is you need to start with whatever one that you want to use. In most cases, people use Facebook, but you want to start with the platform that you want to use, and you want to learn that platform. And your best friend in terms of learning anything about the internet is Google and YouTube. Okay, so if you're using YouTube, you can go and type in how to market on Facebook. I'm sure there will be videos that come up. There we go. How to market on Facebook. Okay, so now you've got a screen full of videos that you can start tinkering through. And you don't have to take everything that you learn from these videos at face value. What you do is you take what you like and what works for you, and then you go and you watch some more training, and then if you find something else that you can add on to what you've already learned, then that's what you do. But the important thing here for you to understand is that you need to get a level of mastery on the platform before you move to the next. Okay, now, if there's no need for you to be on Twitter, then why use Twitter when you're getting results from Facebook? Okay, because in many cases it's only a distraction. So if something comes up where one of your prospects or somebody is prefers Twitter, and now it's time for you to transition over to Twitter, then that makes more sense. But you definitely want to be where the eyeballs are. And right now, where the eyeballs really are is is Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and probably Twitter fifth. And if you're looking for a specific caliber of person, like if you're looking for a more targeted type of professional, then you would want to use LinkedIn. But the point is that until you can get a level of mastery, and when I say mastery, all I'm really saying is that you want to be able to at least generate 10 leads per day. If you can generate 10 leads per day from Facebook, and then you've put it where you can start to do that sort of on autopilot, maybe using some type of software or whatever the case, then now is okay for you to go ahead and move forward and try and start to implement your strategy into the next network, to the next platform. Because here's the deal, a lot of these platforms, people have software that you can buy that will automate the process for you. Now you have to be careful using automated software on these websites because none of them allow it to be used. Okay, so you can get your account banned or suspended or whatever the case for a little while. But you definitely want to make sure that if you are going to be using automated software, that you do it the right way. Because once you learn a little bit about all of these platforms, in time you can automate the process, and now you have you're building your network, and you're also building rapport and relationships throughout all of these different platforms. And if you become a master at all of the platforms that I showed you in this video here today, you really won't have too much of a reason to have to do any other form of marketing. But it's always a good thing for you to have multiple marketing strategies, because with the internet things are constantly changing and evolving. So it's important that you do have a backup plan. So that's why you want to get a level of mastery so that you can move forward and build on your backup plan. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So that is it for this video, folks. Hopefully that made sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you guys have any questions, you can contact me by clicking on the link below this video or whatever the case. But thanks for watching, and that's all for this video.